20% of women end up having a miscarriage. It seems like a high number, right? But we don't talk about it. So grab your cup of tea and come join me as we talk about what happens in a miscarriage and what you can do about it. I'm going to share some of my suggestions for you. I'm Denise Noyer-Erez, and I'm lovingly known as the Fertility Godmother, and I work with women that are struggling to get pregnant to ease their time and their pain on their path to pregnancy. What is that? So, excuse the noise and welcome to my bedroom today. I got kicked out of my office, part of the COVID fun, trying to maneuver offices. Do you know what I'm talking about? Can you relate? So my husband had an very important meeting today, so I got bumped. But I'm here with you anyway, and I really didn't want to miss today because it's a really important discussion. And I hope that you can hear me. And if not, I will gladly redo this video with you because I have noise and construction in the backyard. So, anyways, I'm sorry. I didn't know that this was happening before I came on. Otherwise, I would have just gone into my car someplace quiet. Do you ever do that? You have to just escape into your car? Okay, let's talk about this because it's a really important discussion about miscarriage. And, a lot of the times, first of all, I'm so sorry that you had to experience that type of pain. It's something you'll never get over. And it's okay to feel sad and to mourn that loss. Just please don't get stuck there. One of the things that a lot of women like to know is first of all, they're surprised that it's even a possibility, that it is a possibility. And usually the reason is because of genetic abnormalities. So if it's possible, if you had a miscarriage or if you're going through one, I like to recommend you, if you can test the fetus and see if it was normal, because it will give you some really good information if you can know that. Sometimes it's a shock and it doesn't happen, and most likely it won't happen again. But here are some questions I want you to ask yourself. One is, did you do preconception care? Did you and your partner, both of you, get really healthy, take your supplements, and gummies don't count, before you guys try to conceive? Did you plan it? I see some women, they're smoking, they're taking gummies. Their lifestyle isn't conducive for a healthy pregnancy. So it makes sense in that situation. So just check back. No judgment, no guilt. Just let's acknowledge what is. Take a look and see, what happened. Were you really healthy? Are you really healthy? And if that's the case, then there might be some things to look deeper into. But if not, that would be the first place that I start, is taking 3 months to really get as healthy as possible. So it could be just chromosomal abnormality. It could be an egg quality issue or a sperm quality issue. It could be that you had something in your uterus, a polyp, a fibroid, a septum, scar tissue. Those are some things that can definitely cause a problem with the baby nestling in the uterus. And so those are some things to consider. Now, usually there's a small percentage of women that have recurrent miscarriages, but I'm not going to talk about that today. I have other videos on that, and I will talk about it again in the future. If in the next session, actually, we'll talk about recurrent miscarriages. So it's important to just keep that in mind. So one of the questions I get is, when can I start trying again? So it's really a personal question, and it is really going to depend on your situation, right? First of all, you want to factor in how old you are, how long you've been trying, have you done your preconception care, how strong and healthy are you, did you process this emotional disappointment, the sadness, did you process it or did you shove it away? Making sure that you have this. So if you're strong, you're healthy, you've done all your preconception care, then technically you can start right away. And I would just take this next month to really nourish your body, making sure that you rest and you nourish yourself. And you can definitely start right away. In fact, some doctors say you have a better chance of getting pregnant right after a miscarriage. I like to take in other factors. So if you're somebody who's a little bit more frail, you feel tired, you're very sensitive to things, then maybe that's something you want to consider nourishing your body for a month. But download the preconception checklist in the link in my bio, and just go through it and make sure you've checked all the boxes. Make sure you've done what you need to do. Your hormones are in balance. Sometimes that would cause a genetic abnormality if you have irregular menstrual cycles. That could have increased the possibility of that. Hi, Anusha. Good to see you here. So those are some things that I think are really important for you. Another question is, how long does it take to conceive after a miscarriage? Well, usually it can happen fairly quickly. Sometimes your body gets thrown off and it can take a while. So you may need to make sure that you want to go back and nourish your body. So even if you had a miscarriage in the first trimester, it may not feel like, we tend to dismiss it as women, the medical community, like it doesn't happen. But it takes a lot of resources from you. It takes a lot of energy. So you need to really take that time to nourish your body and emotionally process what happened. Now, I'm not saying forget, because you're never going to forget it, but you need to be able to process it into a way that you feel healthy and be able to accept what happened for what was, and then recreate a new possibility. The other question I had was, does a D&C increase fertility? So that's going to depend. I don't think it's going to increase fertility, no, but I think that if you have a miscarriage, then sometimes it's a good idea to have one, unless you know that you were able to completely miscarry everything, all the parts came out. If you don't miscarry naturally, I think a D&C would be more beneficial than taking the medication, in my opinion, because you can hopefully get some information, and then you know that everything you don't have any parts. Sometimes you'll have parts inside, they didn't get like some tissue, and that can cause some other problems, and you don't necessarily know that, and so that's where I would recommend a D&C for those two reasons versus medication. But if you bypass everything, if everything comes out, then you don't need to have a D&C. You need to just really nourish your body a lot right after that. So make sure that you process, you heal emotionally and physically. It's very important for you to acknowledge that. And download the preconception care checklist and make sure that you're on the right path. And just take a look back and ask yourself some of the questions. If you did everything to be in your best possible shape, your healthiest, and if not, then that's a really big clue for you to start right there. Make it a beautiful day, sending you love and strength, and I'll see you next time.